There is this massive myth in our industry that you need to have completed magazine-worthy design client projects just in order to be taken seriously as a designer. And honestly, it's total garbage.
All right. I'm Rebecca Hay, and I've built a successful interior design business by trial and error, podcasts, online courses, and so many freaking books. Over the last decade, I've grown from an insecure student to having false starts to careers, and now I'm finally in the place where I want to be. Throughout my journey, it's been pretty obvious that I'm passionate about business and helping other entrepreneurs do the same. Each week, I'll share tangible takeaways from my own experience and the experiences of other badass women to help you build your confidence and change your business.
So today we're tackling one of the most common questions that I get from new interior designers. And honestly, it's come up so much in our recent workshops that I knew I had to address it head on. So the question is, how do I get clients when I don't have a portfolio yet? Right? Sound familiar? You're definitely not alone if this is how you felt or thought. And I would see responses in the chat in our workshop, something like, I'm a recent grad and I don't know how to get started, or I can't find new clients because I don't have a lot of experience, or I don't have any work to showcase other than from my previous design job, and I can't share that. Can anyone else relate to this? So here's the thing. I'm going to be totally honest with you here. This question tells me that you're thinking about it maybe the wrong way. And I mean that in the most loving way possible, because the truth is you do have what you need to get started attracting clients. You just don't realize it. And you're focusing maybe on the wrong thing. You're focusing on the gap. You're focusing on the obstacle. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let me share exactly how I built my portfolio without a portfolio to get you noticed, get you hired, and just really get started. Because when you're starting from absolute zero, it can feel daunting and overwhelming. And I know there are many listeners here today who are in this place. So let's start with the first area. I'm going to share a myth about portfolios that could be keeping you stuck. Okay, real talk. There is this massive myth in our industry that you need to have completed magazine-worthy design client projects just in order to be taken seriously as a designer. And honestly, it's total garbage. I see this all the time. Designers are waiting and waiting to launch their business because they think they need this perfect portfolio, or they're waiting and waiting to raise their rates or charge for consultations until they have the body of work to prove to them and the world that they can do it. And they think that they need those big projects before people are ready to hire them. But that is kind of like a frustrating catch-22, right? It's like this cycle. You need clients to get a portfolio, but you need a portfolio to get clients. See where I'm going with this? So here's what I have learned after building a 7-figure design business and working with hundreds of designers as their mentor and coach in our community, is that potential clients aren't hiring you for your portfolio only. They're hiring you for your eye, your style, your ability, this is it, to solve their problems. Think about it. When you're scrolling on Instagram and you see a beautifully styled corner of someone's living room, right, with the fiddle leaf, do you think, oh, this doesn't count because it's not a client project? Of course not. You don't know whose project that is. You just think, wow, this person has a great eye. They have great style. I wonder if they could help me in my space. One of the designers inside our workshop said, I'm not sure how to present myself from the beginning. I'm not completely sure what direction I want to go. And I get it. When you're starting out, everything feels a bit uncertain. Maybe you're not entirely clear on your style, your personal style yet. But here's what I wish someone had told me. Good design will speak for itself, whether it's in a $1 million client renovation or a $50 styling of your own coffee table. Your eye is your eye. And yes, your eye will improve with time, but we all have to start somewhere, right? Your potential clients want to see that you can create beautiful, livable spaces, that you get them in their lifestyle, and they want to feel confident that you understand them and their needs. And you can absolutely show all of that without having a robust client portfolio. In fact, many designers have taken away projects from their portfolio. I've only put a handful on my website, and I've done more than that in my years in business. So the key is shifting your mindset from I don't have enough, it's never enough, to I have everything I need to get going. I have everything I need to start. Because the truth is, you do. So, what is your secret weapon? I'm going to share with you how you can do this. Your secret weapon when you're starting out is your own space. So, you can start literally right where you are right now. Your home, or even just one corner of it, is your secret weapon. Maybe your parents' home or your friend's home. And before you say, Rebecca, my place is so small, or I'm renting and I can't change anything major, it's not really what I would do. Let me stop you right there, because some of the most gorgeous portfolio pieces I've seen have been tiny vignettes, styled bookcases, or a beautifully arranged coffee table, a picture facing down like a, what's it called? Bird's eye view. Okay, here's a crazy story for you. You're not going to believe this one. There was a woman I met early when I started doing designer meetups in Toronto. She lived in the beaches and she wasn't taking any clients. She just desired to be a designer. And she was probably feeling like many of you do right now, feeling like, I'm waiting for the, I don't have it put together yet. She still had a full-time job. She dreamed of running her own interior design business. So she started an Instagram account, right? She started posting pictures of spaces that inspired her and of her own home. Little corners, a perfectly arranged side table here, a gorgeous tablescape there, a cozy reading nook that she'd created with items that she already owned or that she maybe had propped in from a local store. She was working full time and hadn't even done one design project. Okay. She came to me at a meetup. She's like, Rebecca, people are starting to reach out to me to hire me. They loved her aesthetic. They wanted that same feeling in their own homes. She didn't actually have the ability to serve these clients yet, but they were coming for her. And those were just from styled shots of her own space. Here's the thing. She ended up having to refer those projects out because she wasn't even running her own business yet. You can do this too. A lot of designers are worried that clients are not going to value their time. But when you start treating your space like a client project, something shifts. You start seeing the value in what you can create. I want you to walk through your home right now, look around, and look at it with fresh eyes. What corner could you style and photograph? What surface could you arrange beautifully? What maybe is missing something, but you could prop it in? Is there a space or a chair or an area of your home that best reflects your aesthetic or the style that you like? Even when I was working behind the scenes at HGTV, I was pregnant, I was styling on my sore feet until literally the 11th hour. I was documenting everything. Not because I knew I was going to use it later. I was just like inspired and I wanted to take little vignettes of all the little like I don't know, shelves that we did, and I would style things. Like I was so obsessed with styling back then. Now I'd never want to style anything. But I would take pictures of every space I touched. Don't blah, blah. Don't underestimate the power of your own creativity and the ability that you have to make it beautiful, because that's what your future clients are looking for. And those pictures that I took of the little styling bits that I did when I was in HGTV, I was then able to use those with private clients just in my Instagram. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really starting to showcase my talent in tiny little squares on the gram. So let's talk about creating your portfolio with intention. So here's where we're going to get strategic. You're not just randomly photographing your stuff. No. And in fact, I highly recommend that you go to Linda Holt. She was on the podcast. Linda Holt can teach you how to use your iPhone. You don't even need to have a fancy photographer in order to get great photos. She can teach you how to use your camera on your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever phone it is that you use, your Google phone. And you can photograph spaces that you have control over and make them look amazing. Okay, let's talk about building this portfolio with intention. So think of yourself as having an imaginary client. What's their style? What problems are they trying to solve? Think about the client that you want to serve. What feeling do they want their space to have? Now create that for them in your own home. Sure, it's going to take a little extra work and no one's paying you for it, but this is the content you want to showcase your portfolio. So let's say you want to work with young families who love modern farmhouse style. So create maybe a styled kids play area that's both beautiful and functional. Maybe you want to work with busy professionals who need calming bedrooms. Style your own bedroom. Go to HomeSense, get some different bedding, pillows, fake plants, real plants, right? Create that serene hotel like feeling. Do tight shots. You don't have to do overalls of the room. One of the designers who attended our workshop mentioned that she really struggled to weed out the crazies, right? The crazy clients. Like she wanted to know, how do I attract people who are not hiding the crazy side of them? You know what I mean? And get the easygoing, trusting people. And honestly, it starts with your portfolio. It's going to be about how you show up as well and how you pre qualify them. One of the things I teach designers to do is to use a script when they have a call with a client. I call that call a discovery call. It's that initial intake phone call. That is going to be your opportunity to really find out if that client is the right fit for you, if you're the right fit for them. And this is your opportunity in this discovery call to ask specific strategic questions to find out from them the problems that they have and how you can solve them, and then to sell them into a paid consultation. You guys can grab my script. It's free. Just go to RebeccaHay.com/discovery. And that's where you can get my script that designers, hundreds of designers have used. I have questions in there. You can take it, you can customize it, make it your own. That's going to help you to attract the non-crazies. So here's what I want you to focus on. Quality over quantity. Remember when I said I don't have all the projects I've done on my website? Truthfully, 5 absolutely gorgeous, well lit, thoughtfully styled photos are going to serve you so much better than 20 random shots. It's not, more is just more is not better. I see designers putting everything on their websites or posting everything on Instagram, and it just dilutes their message. It's funny. It's like we think this is what we need to do. We think we want to show potential clients that we have a volume of work behind us, right? That's what I used to think. That's what I thought I needed to do. So I want people to see that I've done so many projects. I have so much experience. But the lesson I learned from that designer who came to the Toronto designer meetups and told me that she was getting inquiries for projects and she had only posted some beautiful photos on her Instagram was a great reminder. It's not about having more. It's about being strategic with the 1 or 2 projects that you do have. Maybe it means you need to go back to a past client and style and bring in all the accessories. Maybe you want to hire a stylist. They will bring the accessories for you. That's what I do today. It's so funny. In the very beginning of my journey and in my career, like back to HGTV days, my initial private clients, I loved styling. I was obsessed with it. I was like, oh my God, I was such a perfectionist though. I'd be like, no, wait, no, that, oh wait, let's just turn the leaf here and the mug goes there. And I was like, oh no, I feel like I need something like woody. Like I really was into it. But my gosh, guys, it's time consuming. I feel like I outstyled myself. I'm like, that's cool. I don't need to style for the rest of my life. I will pay someone else to come do it now. Okay, sidebar. Let's get back on track. The other thing I want to talk about is that consistency is key. So this is something that's taken me a while to learn, but your editing style, your aesthetic, the level of lighting, your point of view, it should all feel cohesive. When someone looks at your work or the photos that you've put and curated on your website, they should immediately understand what you are about. Don't just post a pretty picture. You want to also tell the story of that photograph. So when you're talking to a potential client, you can explain your choices. Why did you choose this warm white paint? Because does it create the perfect backdrop for family photos while still feeling fresh? Like come up with the story behind it. You can also include that on your website and in your conversations with potential clients. But also remember, if you can get clear on your design aesthetic, it's going to make everything a heck of a lot easier. If you're consistent with what you're known for, it's going to make attracting clients a lot easier. I had someone reach out to me earlier this year with a very, very large project. And when I asked him how he found me, surprisingly, he said he found me on ChatGPT. That's a story for another time. But he said he was trying to decide between a few design firms. He'd narrowed it down between myself and this one other designer, one or two other designers. And when he mentioned who they were, they're very big names. I was very flattered, but then I also wondered why. And it was my design aesthetic. He said, your process looks structured. It looks like you're a professional. You know what you do. You've got the years to back you, but I really like your aesthetic. And that is what I'm going for in this new build home. And when I referred him to a couple other designers and I asked him, how did it go? Did you end up hiring one of them? His response to me was, I don't know, their style didn't seem like the right fit. Don't overlook that clients are looking for someone who has a similar design style to them. So make sure you're intentional when you are taking these pictures that are inside your own home. Obviously, you're going to have to get creative because maybe your home isn't the dream that you want, right? It's only very recently that my home now truly reflects my own style. So when you're taking those little pictures with your camera or with your phone, focus on the details. Don't worry about the whole room. It's about how you styled a bookshelf, arrange the pillows, or create a little vignette. These details are going to show your eye and attention to detail. These are the things that really make a space special. And here's a pro tip. Shoot everything as if it's for a client. Good lighting, clean backgrounds, thoughtful composition. Because when you present your work professionally, people will take you seriously as a professional. And if you have the budget, hire a photographer, get them to come for the day, do half a day, and really style it and be intentional. I laugh when I think back to some of my original photo shoots. Like I was hiring these professional photographers. I must have looked like a total noobs to them, like total newbie for being like obsessing over this tiny little vignette with this, like, I don't know, IKEA dresser that I had put my own knobs on from Anthropology. And I didn't have money for wallpaper. So I had like wall decal stickers and I was like styling with stuffed animals for this nursery. And they must have thought, oh my God, like here I am at this new designer's home. She thinks this is something else, and she's obsessing over this freaking IKEA dresser when I just came from a multi-million-dollar whatever. But the photographers are professional. They never said anything to me. It's in hindsight, I look back and I cringe a little bit. But I did what I needed to do to get the shots. Those shots aren't on my website anymore, but I'm still really proud of what I did to get them. The reality is, you want to show up like the designer that you want to become. Here's where a lot of new designers get stuck. They create beautiful work, but they don't know how to share it confidently. And I get it. Putting yourself out there feels vulnerable, especially when you're just starting. However, remember what I always say. Well, at least if you haven't heard me say this, I say this a lot. There's no one size fits all to running a design business. Your journey is going to look a whole lot different than mine. And that's exactly as it should be. We all are coming from a different place. We all have different goals and dreams. And one thing I learned early on, and this came from years of being behind the scenes in television, is that presentation is everything. It is not enough to create something beautiful. You have to present it beautifully too. So that will come across in the photographs. It should also come across in the storytelling, the captions that you're posting on Instagram, right? Write your captions like you're already the designer you want to become instead of just playing around with some styling or cute, cozy nook. Like, okay, yay, Captain Obvious. You want to talk about projects. And let's be honest, I used to, you know, I used to sprinkle a little bit of dust over, well, I don't know. I don't know how to say this, but like I used to post pictures that were from my home. I never told anyone it was my house. And when I put my house on my website the first time, I did not say it was Rebecca's own home. I just said Humewood Family Residence. If anyone saw my website back then, you'd know, oh, Rebecca, that's your house. I know your house. But like potential clients didn't know. And so I made it look like it was a client project. It's not technically lying. I did the design. I'm just not disclosing the name of the client, which I wouldn't do anyways. Right. And so it'd be like, I don't know, I would say like Young Boys Nursery and I'd post a picture on Instagram. This is my son's nursery at the time that I had professionally photographed. Thank you, Stephanie Buckman. Shout out to Stephanie Buckman Photography here in Toronto, who was with me in those early years. And I would say things like children's nursery, gender neutral nursery, dressing up Like, I don't know, this dresser, I would never would say it was IKEA, but like white dresser with sparkling gold accents, a cozy place for a good night's sleep with room darkening blinds, whatever, blah, 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 blah. The people who were seeing these posts did not know, unless they knew me well, that that was my own child's nursery. So don't apologize for being new. And I see this all the time. I see designers say, like, I'm just starting out, so it's probably not very good, right? Stop doing that to yourself. Your newness is not something to apologize for. It is actually something to celebrate. You're bringing fresh eyes. You're like new young blood. And you're bringing enthusiasm to every project as opposed to someone who's senior and is like, yeah, okay, yeah, I've done these, like, I've done a million powder rooms. Okay, what do you want to do? Right? Show up consistently. One of the designers in our community said to me the other day, she's like, I struggle with marketing myself on social media and getting more clients. But what I said is, marketing doesn't have to feel pushy or gross. Just show up as yourself and share what you value, share the beauty of your work, share stuff that you're proud of, and genuinely talk about it in a way that's helpful, right? As opposed to, look at us, we're so good, want to hire us. Okay. So to wrap up, I would like you to set a goal. If this is you, if this episode spoke to you, I want you to set a goal. Maybe it is to create one beautifully styled photo per week. Maybe it's one room per month. What feels doable to you? Maybe it's book a photo shoot of your own home, even though it's not fully where you want to be, but it's better than nothing. It is a long game. So every time you share photos, whether it's on social or a website, you're building confidence one post at a time. Let me be real with you for a minute. Building a design business and building confidence in yourself as a designer, that's not going to happen overnight. I wish I could tell you it did, but it doesn't. And I often hear designers say, I'm frustrated that I'm not further ahead in my business, or I lack the confidence to really stand up for my worth and charge enough because I don't really have the portfolio anyways. And honestly, I get that. Like, I felt that way a lot in the beginning. Like, the early years were like, what is it? Rivaled, filled with, God, I'm like, my brain's not working today. All of the insecurities. But every designer starts somewhere. Every designer, even the ones that you admire the most on Instagram, the ones who have those hundreds of thousands of followers, they had a first post, they had a first client, they had a first styled photo that they weren't sure was good enough. I can tell you, it's my little, hey, I was ahead of the curve. I was following Studio McGee when she was Shay McGee Designs and she had less than 5,000 followers. And I remember when she went to change her name on Instagram, and I think she was at 10,000 followers because her husband had joined and they had an intent to build something bigger and different. So when she was in California and she was selling pillows, like, I used to like want to be like Studio McGee and have a pillow line. Like, she sold pillows. I don't know if you guys know that, but one of the early businesses was they would have pillows made. You could buy them on their website and they would toss cushions, like, you could buy them. That was like the beginning. And I remember following her because I liked her style and she was posting a lot on Instagram and she did a decent job. But I do remember that moment when she changed her name from Shea McGee Designs to Studio McGee. And I thought, she's making a mistake. She has 10,000 followers, which at the time was like, oh my God, like, very few people had 10,000 followers. And I thought, what is she doing? She is killing her business. And look at where she is today. So she started trying to figure it out just like you and I. And the difference that I have seen now in my 15 years in this industry between the designers who make it and the ones who don't is not talent. Let me repeat that. The difference between the designers who are super successful and those that are just like, I don't know, scraping by, has nothing to do with talent. It is persistence, it is drive, and it is a will to keep trying, even when it's shitty, even when things get tough, even when it feels like, ugh, that client totally mucked up that project and I can't photograph it. It's showing up even when you don't feel ready, like the professional you know you can be. It's believing in your vision, even when no one else sees it, and you especially don't feel good enough. Your portfolio does not have to be perfect right out of the gate. It just has to start, right? Progress over perfection. And it's going to get better with every single photo, every photo shoot you do. You learn every single project, you're going to get better. Every single chance you take to show your work. Progress over perfection always. It's not just a cute saying, it's literally my motto. And it has been how my business has been built and how many, many businesses have been built too. All right, designers. So here's what I want you to do this week. If this episode resonated with you, find one space in your home or your parents' house or your friend or your neighbor or whoever will let you. It could be as small as a side table, next to an armchair or sofa, or as big as an entire living room or kitchen, and style it with intentionality. Think about the story you want to tell, the items that you're putting into the image, and the feeling that you want to create. And of course, start to think about the type of client that you want to attract. What do they value? And then photograph it beautifully and share it. Put it on your website, share it on Instagram, tag me, Rebecca Hay Designs. I'd love to see it. And in your caption, don't just describe what we're seeing. Don't do that. Tell us why you made the choices you made. Let us understand and see the process behind the decisions. What were you going for? What problem were you solving? Position yourself as that thoughtful designer because you are. And if you need help with the photography part, make sure to check out episode 278, where Linda Holt breaks down exactly how to use your smartphone like a pro. That's 278 of Resilient by Design, this podcast right here. The link is also in the show notes. I want to see what you create. So tag me at Rebecca Hay Designs, and you can use hashtag Resilient by Design. I love seeing the beautiful work that our community is creating. I love seeing you take imperfect action to just move your business forward. Remember, you've got this, and the world needs what you have to offer. And your future clients are out there waiting for you to show up. All right, guys, thanks for listening today. I will see you soon.